Dear Diary, today I finally mustered up the courage to ask out my crush. I tripped over my own feet, spilled coffee on their shirt, and somehow ended up agreeing to babysit their neighbor's pet iguana. Is there a rock I can crawl under for the next decade? Sound familiar? We've all had those moments where life feels like a comedy of errors and our diaries become the silent witnesses to our embarrassing escapades. But what if I told you that your journal could be more than just a record of your daily disasters? What if it could be the key to unlocking your true potential, finding clarity in chaos, and living a life so awesome it would make your teenage self high-five you? That's right, folks. We're not here to wallow in self-pity or rehash yesterday's mishaps. We're here to transform your journaling practice from a mundane Dear Diary routine into a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery. Welcome to 10 journaling prompts that changed my life, where we'll dive deep into the art of asking yourself the right questions and maybe, just maybe, find some life-changing answers along the way. Get ready to laugh, cry, hopefully from laughter, and possibly have an existential crisis or two as we explore these game-changing prompts. Whether you're a seasoned journal junkie or someone who thinks journaling is just a fancy word for doodling, buckle up. This journey is about to get as wild as your handwriting after your third cup of coffee. So grab your favorite pen, dust off that neglected notebook, and prepare to embark on a self-discovery adventure that's more exciting than finding an extra fry at the bottom of your takeout bag. Let's turn those blank pages into a roadmap to your best life. Embarrassing moments, coffee stains, and all. Chapter 1. Unleashing your true potential. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. and you're sprawled on your bed, surrounded by a fortress of empty snack wrappers, your laptop balanced precariously on your stomach. The soft glow of the screen illuminates your face as you mindlessly scroll through social media, feeling a strange mix of FOMO and existential dread. Sound familiar? We've all been there, my friend. But what if I told you that the key to unlocking your true potential, to finding purpose and direction in life, was sitting right there on your nightstand? No, not your phone. Put that thing down, for Pete's sake. I'm talking about that neglected journal gathering dust next to your half-empty water bottle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Journaling, isn't that just for angsty teens and aspiring poets? Oh, how wrong you are, my skeptical friend. Journaling, when done right, is like a personal trainer for your brain, a therapist for your soul, and a GPS for your life goals all rolled into one. And the best part? It's a lot cheaper than therapy and doesn't require you to change out of your pajamas. Let me take you on a little journey. A few years ago, I was that person. Aimlessly drifting through life, binge-watching shows I didn't even like and wondering why I felt so blah. Then, one fateful night, fueled by instant ramen and a healthy dose of quarter-life crisis, I stumbled upon the world of journaling prompts. These weren't your run-of-the-mill, Dear Diary, today I saw a cute dog prompts. Oh no, these were the heavy hitters, the kind of questions that make your brain do somersaults and your soul have an existential crisis. And let me tell you, it was exactly what I needed. The first prompt that really knocked my socks off was this beauty. What would you do if money were no object? Suddenly my mind was racing faster than a squirrel on espresso. Would I finally quit my soul-sucking job and become a professional pizza taster? Start that cat cafe I'd always dreamed of? The possibilities were endless, and for the first time in forever, I felt a spark of excitement. But here's where it gets really juicy. As I kept writing, kept exploring these wild ideas, something started to shift. The fog of indecision and self-doubt began to lift, and I could see a path forward. That's how this very YouTube channel was born, folks. Yep, you heard that right. This whole talking to a camera in my bedroom gig, it sprouted from those late-night journaling sessions. Now, let's dive into another prompt that hit me like a ton of bricks. What would people say at your funeral? I know, it sounds morbid, but trust me, it's like time traveling to your own memorial service, minus the uncomfortable suit and stale sandwiches. This prompt forced me to confront the gap between who I was and who I wanted to be. Did I want to be remembered as that guy who could recite every line from The Office, or did I want to leave a real legacy? These prompts aren't just idle scribbles, they're rocket fuel for your dreams. They force you to confront the uncomfortable truths, to dig deep and uncover what really matters to you. And let me tell you, that confrontation can be about as comfortable as a cactus-themed massage. but it's worth it. Because here's the thing, once you start writing, really writing, magic happens. Your goals become clearer than a freshly Windexed window. Your passions ignite like a fireworks display. And suddenly, those wild dreams don't seem so impossible anymore. So, here's my challenge to you. Grab that dusty notebook, steal your roommate's fancy pen, just kidding, buy your own, and get ready to unleash your inner Hemingway. These prompts might just be the key to unlocking your true potential. Who knows? Maybe the next viral sensation, the next world-changing idea is hiding in the pages of your journal, just waiting to be discovered. Remember, life's too short for boring journal entries, so go wild, get weird, and for the love of all that is holy, don't let your cat read what you've written. Trust me on that one. In the end, journaling isn't just about writing. It's about discovering who you are, what you want, and how to get there. It's about turning those late-night existential crises into actionable plans. It's about transforming from the person who watches life happen to the person who makes life happen. So, are you ready to change your life, one prompt at a time? Grab that pen, open that journal, and let's make some magic happen. Your future self will thank you, probably with a yacht and a lifetime supply of pizza. Just saying. Chapter 2, The Weekly Life Audit. Alright, my fellow life adventurers, buckle up because we're about to dive into another mind-bending journaling prompt that will make your future self want to build a time machine just to high-five you. Remember those 2 prompts we explored in the last chapter? Well, they were just the appetizers. Now, we're serving up the main course, and trust me, it's a dish best served with a side of brutal honesty and a sprinkle of courage. Picture this. It's Sunday evening. You're sprawled on the couch, surrounded by the aftermath of your weekend choices, empty takeout containers, a Netflix queue that's seen more action than your gym membership, and a vague sense of dread about Monday morning. The weekend is slipping away faster than your plans to start that side hustle, and you're left wondering, is this really all there is? Enter our next life-altering journaling prompt. If I were to repeat the things I've done this week for the next 10 years, where would I end up? And is this where I want to end up? I know. It sounds about as appealing as a pop quiz on a Monday morning, but hear me out. This prompt is like a time machine, and a reality check had a baby, and that baby is here to lovingly kick your butt into gear. The first time I tried this prompt, it hit me harder than that time I tried to open a door marked pull by pushing it. We've all been there, right? I realized that if I kept binge watching shows, treating my body like a human garbage disposal, and avoiding anything remotely resembling personal growth, my future self would probably be a human-shaped blob with an encyclopedic knowledge of TV trivia and a collection of regrets. Not exactly the stuff dreams are made of, right? But here's where the magic happens. This prompt doesn't just show you the potential train wreck ahead. It hands you the controls and says, hey, you can change tracks if you want. It's like being able to see the butterfly effect of your daily choices, minus the confusing Ashton Kutcher movie plot. For me, this weekly check-in became more than just a journaling exercise. It became a lifeline. I started prioritizing my health, swapping out some of those Netflix marathons for actual marathons. Okay, more like wheezing jogs around the block, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. I began investing time in relationships that mattered, instead of just double-tapping Instagram posts and calling it staying connected. And you know what? The changes weren't just physical. This prompt became the compass for my YouTube channel too. Every week, I'd ask myself, if I keep creating content like this, where will my channel be in 10 years? It pushed me to up my game, to dig deeper for topics that really matter to you guys, to be more authentic and vulnerable on camera. It's the reason why I'm here, talking about journaling prompts instead of doing another 10 ways to procrastinate effectively video. Although, let's be honest, that would probably get a lot of views. Now, I'm not saying this prompt will magically transform you into a superhuman overnight. It's not a magic wand. It's more like a mirror that shows you not just who you are, but who you could be. And sometimes, that reflection can be a little uncomfortable. But growth rarely happens in our comfort zones, right? So, here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Every Sunday evening, before you spiral into the black hole of Sunday night blues, grab your journal. Ask yourself this question. Be brutally honest. And then, here's the kicker. Do something about it. Maybe you'll realize you need to call your mom more often. Maybe you'll finally sign up for that coding class you've been putting off. Remember folks, your future is built 1 week at a time. This prompt is your chance to be the architect of your own life, instead of just a confused tenant wondering how you ended up with a leaky roof and noisy neighbors. So, grab that pen, face the music, and start building the future you actually want, one journal entry at a time. And who knows, 10 years from now, you might just be thanking your past self for having the courage to ask this question, or cursing them for making you do all this self-improvement work. Either way, it will be an adventure. So, are you ready to audit your life and build a future that will make your current self jealous? Are you prepared to turn your what-ifs into hell yeahs? Then let's do this! Grab that journal, sharpen that pencil, or charge that iPad, no judgment here, and let's start crafting a future so bright you'll need sunglasses just to imagine it. Remember, every great story has a beginning, middle, and end. Your life is no different. This prompt, it's your chance to be the author, the protagonist, and the hero of your own epic tale. So what are you waiting for? Your future self is counting on you. Let's make them proud. Chapter 3. Energizing your life. Alright my friends, we've unleashed our potential, audited our lives, and now it's time to tackle the ultimate boss battle, energizing your life. Trust me, this is going to be more exhilarating than finding an extra fry at the bottom of your takeout bag. Picture this. It's 3 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're staring at your computer screen with the enthusiasm of a sloth on vacation. Your to-do list is longer than the credits of a Marvel movie, but your motivation has ghosted you harder than your last Tinder date. Sound familiar? Don't worry, we've all been there, drowning in the sea of adulting while desperately clinging to the flotsam of our dreams. But what if I told you there's a way to transform your life from an energy-sucking black hole into a vibrant, technicolor explosion of awesomeness? Enter the magical world of energy management. It's like being the CEO of your own personal power plant, minus the hard hat and nuclear waste. This, my friends, is where our journey into life-changing journaling prompts takes an electrifying turn. Let's kick things off with the energy audit prompt, a self-reflection technique that's about to rock your world. No, it's not as boring as it sounds. Think of it more like CSI, Your Life Edition. This prompt involves identifying activities that either drain you faster than a leaky battery or energize you like a double shot of espresso injected directly into your eyeballs. The first time I tried this energy audit prompt, I had an epiphany that hit me harder than a caffeine crash after an all-night study session. I realized that scrolling through social media for hours was leaving me feeling about as energized as a deflated balloon at a kid's birthday party. On the flip side, I discovered that dancing like a maniac to 80s pop hits while cleaning my room gave me more of a boost than any energy drink ever could. Who knew that Billy Joe and a feather duster could be the secret to productivity enhancement? But wait, there's more. Let me introduce you to the Wheel of Life assessment. It's like a carnival game, except instead of winning a stuffed animal, you win a better life. This personal growth journaling exercise involves evaluating different areas of your life, work, health, relationships, and more, and seeing how they stack up against your goals. When I first spun my wheel of life, it looked less like a perfect circle and more like something a drunk toddler would draw after a crayon binge. My work section was bulging like it had eaten too much pizza, while my health section was as flat as said pizza box. Talk about a wake-up call. But here's where the magic of these life improvement prompts really kicks in. By regularly checking in with your wheel of life, you start to see patterns clearer than your reflection in a freshly Windexed mirror. Maybe you're crushing it at work, but your social life is drier than the Sahara in a drought. Or perhaps your relationships are blooming like a spring garden, but your bank account is wilting faster than a neglected houseplant in Death Valley. The beauty of these prompts is that they don't just show you where you're falling short, they give you the power to make changes. It's like having a personal life coach living in your journal minus the expensive hourly rate and questionable motivational quotes about climbing mountains and being a wolf. For me, these habit formation techniques became the secret sauce in my recipe for a kick-ass life. I started prioritizing activities that filled my energy tank and minimizing the ones that left me feeling like a zombie at a marathon. I began aligning my daily actions with my long-term goals, making sure each spin of my wheel of life was bringing me closer to the person I wanted to be. You know, that mythical creature who meal preps, goes to the gym regularly, and doesn't consider Netflix a personality trait. And you know what? The changes weren't just internal. My YouTube channel started to reflect this newfound energy and focus. I was creating content that not only energized me, but seemed to light a fire under you guys too. It was like I discovered the secret formula for turning life's lemons into a killer lemonade stand, complete with a catchy jingle and biodegradable cups. Now, I'm not saying these goal-setting exercises will magically transform you into a superhuman overnight, but they're powerful tools that can lead to some pretty amazing changes over time. It's about building the energized, aligned future you want, one journal entry at a time. So, here's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, grab that journal and start your own energy audit and wheel of life assessment. Be brutally honest. Your journal can take it, I promise. It's seen your 3 a.m. existential crises and lived to tell the tale. And then, here's the kicker. Do something about it. Maybe you'll realize that your job is sucking the life out of you faster than a vampire on a binge. Maybe you'll discover that volunteering at the local animal shelter fills you with more joy than you thought possible. Remember folks, your energy is your most valuable resource. These prompts are your chance to become the master of your own power grid, instead of feeling like a burnt out bulb in someone else's lamp. So grab that pen, face the music, and start building the energized, aligned life you actually want, one journal entry at a time. And who knows? A few months from now, you might just be bouncing out of bed with more enthusiasm than a puppy at a tennis ball factory, or at least not hitting the snooze button 17 times. Either way, it will be an adventure in life satisfaction improvement. So, are you ready to energize your life and build a future that will make your current self green with envy? Let's do this! Chapter 4: Clarity and Focus. Alright my friends, we've turbocharged our lives with energy management, and now it's time to harness that power with laser-like precision. Welcome to the world of clarity and focus, where we turn the jumbled mess of our aspirations into a crystal clear roadmap to success. Imagine this, you're standing in the middle of a carnival of life, surrounded by flashing lights of opportunities, loud noises of societal expectations, and more options than a Netflix homepage on steroids. Your goals are like those elusive stuffed animals at the top shelf of the ring toss booth. And your focus? Well, it's about as stable as a house of cards in a hurricane. Sound familiar? Don't worry, we've all been there, trying to juggle our dreams while life keeps throwing curveballs our way. But what if I told you there's a way to cut through the noise and zero in on what really matters? Enter the magical world of goal identification and obstacle obliteration. It's like having a GPS for your life, minus the annoying recalculating voice every time you make a wrong turn. This, my friends, is where our journey into life-changing journaling prompts takes a turn sharper than your grandma's whip. Let's kick things off with the goal and bottleneck prompt, a clarity-boosting technique that's about to blow your mind harder than that plot twist in the season finale of your favorite TV show. This prompt is all about identifying not just what you want, but what's standing in your way. It's like being your own life detective, except instead of solving crimes, you're cracking the case of your unfulfilled potential. Here's how it works. Take a deep breath, grab your journal, and ask yourself 2 simple questions. What's my goal? And what's the bottleneck? Sounds easy, right? Well, buckle up, my friend, because this is where things get real. For me, when I first encountered this prompt, it was like someone had turned on the lights in a dark room. My goal was clear: create content that could help people navigate the choppy waters of adulting. But the bottleneck? That sneaky little gremlin was my fear of judgment, making me second guess every idea and procrastinate faster than a cat avoiding a bath. Suddenly, I could see the path forward, and it didn't involve endlessly scrolling through Instagram for inspiration, aka cute cat videos. But wait, there's more. Let me introduce you to the Tracy's Treasure prompt, a goal-setting technique that will make your brain do backflips. This exercise is like playing Would You Rather with your goals, except instead of choosing between embarrassing scenarios, you're prioritizing your dreams. Here's the deal. Write down all your current and future goals. Go wild. Want to learn to juggle flaming torches while reciting Shakespeare? Put it on the list. Dream of becoming the world's first astronaut chef? Jot it down. Now, here's the kicker. Ask yourself, if I could wave a magic wand and instantly achieve one of these goals, which one would have the biggest positive impact on my life? The first time I tried this life prioritization strategy, my list looked like a toddler's Christmas wish list. Ambitious, slightly unrealistic, and heavy on the snacks. But when I really dug into that magic wand question, I had an epiphany that hit me harder than a caffeine crash after an all-night study session. I realized that my true priority wasn't becoming a famous novelist or learning to speak fluent Klingon. It was creating content that could genuinely help people like you. These focus enhancement prompts aren't just about daydreaming, they're about cutting through the mental clutter and zeroing in on what really matters. It's like Marie Kondoing your brain, except instead of asking if things spark joy, you're asking if they spark progress. For me, these personal growth journaling techniques became the secret sauce in my recipe for a life of purpose. I started tackling my bottlenecks head-on like a bulldozer with a vendetta against self-doubt. I began prioritizing goals that aligned with my true passions, not just what I thought I should be doing. Goodbye dream of becoming a professional sock organizer. You will be missed. And you know what? The changes weren't just internal. My content started to reflect this newfound clarity and focus. I was creating videos that not only resonated with me, but seemed to strike a chord with you guys too. It was like I discovered the Rosetta Stone for translating my jumbled thoughts into coherent, helpful content. Now, I'm not saying these self-discovery exercises will magically solve all your problems overnight, but they're powerful tools that can help you navigate the obstacle course of life with the grace of a gazelle, or at least with slightly less flailing than before. So here's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, grab that journal and start identifying your goals and bottlenecks. Be brutally honest. Your journal can take it, I promise. It's already seen your 2 a.m. existential crises and lived to tell the tale. Then prioritize those goals like your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. Maybe you'll realize that your true bottleneck isn't lack of time, but your addiction to binge watching obscure documentaries about the mating habits of sea slugs. Maybe you'll discover that your biggest goal isn't world domination, but making a difference in your local community. Whatever you uncover, embrace it with open arms and an open mind. Remember folks, clarity and focus are your superpowers in the chaotic comic book of life. These prompts are your chance to don your cape and become the hero of your own story instead of feeling like a confused extra in someone else's blockbuster. So grab that pen, face your goals and bottlenecks, and start building the clear, focused life you actually want, one journal entry at a time. And who knows, a few months from now, you might just be crushing your goals with the precision of a laser-guided missile, or at least not getting distracted by shiny objects every 5 minutes. Either way, it'll be an adventure in productivity improvement and life purpose clarification. So, are you ready to clarify your path and focus your energy like never before? Let's do this. Chapter 5, Living with Purpose. Alright my friends, we've reached the grand finale of our journaling odyssey. Buckle up, because this last prompt is about to hit you harder than the realization that you've been wearing your shirt inside out all day. Welcome to Living with Purpose, where we're about to crank the volume of life up to 11 and dance like we're at a silent disco. Except the music is in our heads and we're probably in our pajamas. Picture this, you're cruising through life, armed with your newfound clarity and laser-like focus from our previous journaling adventures. You're feeling pretty good, right? Like you finally figured out the cheat codes to adulting. But there's still this nagging feeling in the pit of your stomach, like you forgot to feed your Tamagotchi in 1997, and it's been haunting you ever since. That, my friends, is the universe whispering, or maybe shouting depending on how good your hearing is, that it's time to dig even deeper. Enter the limited time left prompt, the journaling equivalent of a cosmic wake-up call that's about to serve you a triple shot of perspective with a side of existential crisis. Here's how it goes. If you knew you only had X years left to live, how would you spend your time? Boom, mind blown, reality check initiated. Now, before you start panic buying skydiving lessons or booking a one-way ticket to Bali, although, let's be honest, that doesn't sound half bad. Let's break this down. This time-limited reflection isn't about morbidly obsessing over your mortality or YOLOing your way into bankruptcy. It's about injecting a dose of urgency into your life that's stronger than the coffee you chug to survive Monday mornings. The first time I encountered this life reflection technique, it hit me like a ton of bricks wrapped in a reality sandwich, served with a side of, "What am I doing with my life?" fries. I sat there, pen hovering over paper, as my brain short-circuited trying to process the enormity of the question. What if I only had 5 years left? Would I still be spending hours debating whether a hot dog is a sandwich? Spoiler alert, probably, but with more passion and purpose. As I started writing, something magical happened. The fog of someday and maybe lifted, revealing a crystal clear vision of what truly mattered to me. This self-discovery prompt became a powerful catalyst for meaningful goal setting. Suddenly, those pipe dreams of writing a book, traveling the world, and making a difference didn't seem so far-fetched. They became urgent, necessary, vital, like remembering to buy toilet paper before you run out. But here's the kicker. This purpose-driven journaling exercise isn't about making a bucket list and then feeling guilty when you don't immediately book that trip to Machu Picchu or learn to speak fluent Klingon. It's about using this hypothetical scenario as a compass for your everyday life. It's about infusing your daily grind with purpose, passion, and a healthy dose of carpe diem. That's seize the day for those of you who slept through Latin class, not a fancy fish dish. For me, this life purpose clarification became the secret sauce in my recipe for a life well lived. I started prioritizing experiences over things, relationships over social media likes, and personal growth over my encyclopedic knowledge of 90s sitcom trivia. Don't worry, I still make time for the occasional Friends marathon. I'm a human, not a robot. This intentional living strategy transformed not just how I spent my time, but how I perceived it. Suddenly, every moment felt more precious, more alive. It was like I'd been watching life in standard definition, and someone had just handed me 4K glasses. Colors were brighter, laughs were louder, and even mundane tasks took on a new significance. Now, I'm not saying this legacy planning journaling will magically solve all your existential dilemmas overnight. It won't suddenly make you love doing laundry or enjoying kale smoothies, but it's a powerful tool for shaking up your perspective and reminding you that life is short, precious, and meant to be lived with gusto, like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet and you're wearing your stretchiest pants. So here's your final mission. Intrepid journalers, grab that pen and ask yourself the big question. Be honest. Your journal can take it, I promise. Then use your answers as a springboard for living each day with more intention, more passion, and more purpose. Maybe you'll realize that your true calling isn't becoming a famous actor, but starting a community theater group that brings joy to your neighborhood. Maybe you'll discover that your legacy isn't about accumulating wealth, but about enriching the lives of those around you. Or maybe you'll finally admit that your life's purpose is to pet every dog you see. Whatever you uncover, embrace it with open arms and an open heart. Remember folks, living with purpose isn't about having all the answers or achieving some mythical state of perpetual bliss where you wake up every morning feeling like you're in a shampoo commercial. It's about asking the right questions, challenging your assumptions, and continuously evolving. These life prioritization methods are your toolkit for crafting a life that's uniquely, unapologetically you. Weird hobbies, questionable fashion choices, and all. As we wrap up this journey, I want to leave you with this thought. Your journal is more than just a collection of pages. It's a mirror, a time machine, and a crystal ball all rolled into one. It's a safe space for your wildest dreams and your deepest fears. It's where you can be unabashedly, authentically you. Bad puns, embarrassing stories, and all. So, whether you're a seasoned journaler with more notebooks than a stationery store, or a newbie just dipping your toes in the ink, I encourage you to dive in head first. Try these prompts, create your own, and most importantly, keep writing. Your future self will thank you, probably with a yacht and a lifetime supply of your favorite snacks. Just saying. And hey, this might be the end of our journaling prompt journey, but it's just the beginning of your adventure in living a life full of clarity, focus, and purpose. So go forth, write on, and remember, life's too short for boring journal entries. Make every word count, just like you're gonna make every day count. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with my journal and a burning question about how I'd spend the next 5 years if they were my last. Who knows? Maybe I'll finally learn to juggle or start that underwater basket weaving class I've been eyeing. The possibilities are endless, and that's the beauty of it all. So here's to living with purpose, writing with passion, and never forgetting to add a little humor to the journey. After all, laughter is the best medicine. Unless you have scurvy, then it's probably oranges.